There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another awesome episode and another awesome guest. You are not going to want to miss today's episode if you want to learn everything there is to know about digital marketing.
The Insurance Bro Show is a podcast for agents who want to grow their agency and be titans of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the Insurance Bro, James Cias.
There it is. All right, all you insurance pros out there, let's dive into another fun episode. But before we do, just a quick reminder to please subscribe on whichever platform it is that you're catching us on today. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, and drop a review and help other like-minded insurance agents find value from our awesome guests as we rise up in those podcast rankings. We will sincerely appreciate every single one of you for it. And if you want to be a guest on the show, I would love to have you on and learn from you as well. Go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest and schedule your time slot. Don't forget to follow me on all social media at Insurance Bro Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we're super excited and super honored to bring another incredible guest on the Insurance Bro Show. Our guest today has helped entrepreneurs generate consistent leads through video and social media without spending tons of time or money. As a keynote speaker and masterful digital marketing consultant, our guest works with business owners as a video and social media strategist. He is dedicated to helping businesses implement digital marketing strategies to increase brand awareness and improve their online presence. All the while, our guest stays humble, knowing he learns more with every client he takes on. He knows the best way to improve is as a team, and his clients know his motto well: let's grow together. We can't wait to learn from this incredible speaker and digital marketing guru. Joining us today from across the coast in Pennsylvania, actually in Arizona today, welcome to the show, Nick Dang it, I'm gonna mess it up. Hippopotamus Bonnet. Can you just say it for me?
Nick Bonitatibus.
There we go. Damn, man, I tried. Bonitatibus. I'll get it that time around.
I rehearsed it before, and then you get on live and mess up. It happens to me all the time. It's all good.
That's how it works. I'm a little bit red, in the face from that, but it is what it is. Nick, man, I'm gonna get it right by the end of the show. Nick, welcome to the show, man. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Good, me too, man. So I'm, doing a little bit of research on you today, just kind of reading up and seeing where you're coming from. I see a lot of pictures of you speaking in front of large audiences, which to me, I mean, right off the bat, that's impressive. You have gotten yourself to a point where not only are you filling the pipeline for other businesses, for yourself through digital marketing, you've done it all and are able to fill an actual physical room full of people who want to hear what you have to say. Tell me about your journey. Tell me about how you got to where you are today.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for me, I started off working for a consulting business right out of college and immediately got thrown into this amazing small business world and absolutely fell in love with it. I saw the opportunities that came. I started doing the entrepreneur book reading and podcasts and just getting immersed in it. And, during that time, I was presented with an opportunity to speak on stage. It was in 2016. And that was really the first time where I felt like a little kid. I was like just out of college at the time. And here I am going on stage speaking in front of, 150 plus people to talk about digital marketing. And what was so cool about that is from the first time that I got on stage, I immediately knew that was where I was meant to be. It was just, there's a picture of me coming off the stage. I have this like massive grin on my face, just realizing, wow, I cannot wait to do this more. And so from that moment on, it was like, I need to get on more stages. I need to speak as much as possible. I did it with that company, but then I've also spoken through my own business. When I started my own business, getting on stages and being able to present, I just saw that, one, I loved it. And two, it just allowed me to create an impact and connect with so many more people when you're able to step on that stage. It's just a different environment. It's a different feel. And it's exhilarating to get on that stage. But I would have never known. And I probably, in hindsight, wouldn't have started my own business had I not been given the validation from the content that I presented. Like, this is valuable. People need this. There is a need for this in the world. I'm going to start my own business, branch out from, I always say this, I basically quit my dream job to create my dream life because I was loving my job. It was great. I got to speak. I was doing so many fun things, doing the things that I love to do, but still I felt that I was meant for more. I wanted to build something of my own and started my own business. And so it's been about 2 years now with Digital Champs, and it's been awesome. I have clients all over the country. I have clients in Hawaii, Michigan, Pennsylvania, all over the place. It's just really awesome. It's been an amazing journey to be able to, like you mentioned, I was living in PA, but I actually moved to California, to San Diego 2 months ago. Yeah. So I'm in Arizona right now. But yeah, I've been,
Welcome to San Diego. We're definitely going to have to, I didn't realize that, when I'm doing all the research, I'm reading about you and I see that you are in Pennsylvania. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Whatever. But since you're local, man, we're going to have to hang out and actually catch up and get a chance to meet once the craziness of the world, calms down a bit. And speaking of which, that's always a big question. In the digital marketing space, have things really changed as far as your approach and as far as the way that the world has changed through the pandemic and everything else that we're facing?
Absolutely. It was something that I always was talking about well before, the COVID happened, that video and digital marketing was going to be a huge aspect and that people needed to get on board with it. And when COVID happened, it was like, now you don't really have a choice anymore.
For sure.
People that wanted to delay it, people that didn't want to do it. So many people relied on certain aspects of, not having to have much of an online presence. And now they are scrambling, trying to get things in order, trying to figure out what to do. They have no systems in place. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying to run other parts of their business too. And so, a lot of people are getting kind of thrown all over the place, trying to figure out what the best strategy is, what can they do. And the thing is, it's, you really can just get at one thing at a time, to get started. If you're someone that's not really in the digital marketing space yet, looking to get more, take it one day at a time. There's little things, I'm sure we'll get into it more, of how you can just start to create that online presence so you can start to generate that attraction of potential clients to your business online from the comfort of your own home,
Yeah, I mean, we're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. We're not going to the office anymore. A lot of us aren't anyway. And I notice, being in the insurance industry, there aren't a lot of, or I should say that the insurance industry, insurance agents in general, don't seem to take as much of an advantage of digital marketing, social media. I seem to see more insurance agents, they might post a little something here and there, but there's just something missing. I always compare it to the real estate space. Got a lot of friends and networking partners in the real estate space. And when I see those folks, I mean, they've got their big sold signs. They're taking pictures with their clients. They're doing all of this digital branding, taking pictures of houses. These are struggles, I think, for us in the insurance community. We don't necessarily have those things to show. So what are some things that us new agents, agents that are babies in the digital marketing space, especially those of us that are more old school and have been forced through the pandemic to open our businesses up to digital marketing, what are some easy things that we can do in the insurance space to start ourselves out?
Absolutely. I have one foundational thing that I always like to bring up, and it's a a piece that is so important no matter what business you're in. And also just understanding the foundation of social media, which is that it is about building relationships. And that's the same aspect of business. But when we try and get in it from a business standpoint, we think, oh, well, this is about getting sales. This is about getting this and this, and often forget that that is the fundamental aspect of this. Utilizing our own personal pages is such an underutilized tool. They think, some people think you can just create a Facebook page, business page, and maybe just post some stuff and magic's going to happen. And it's just not the reality of it. It's just, that's not the way that works. There's so many people on social media. There's so many things. And there is a level of utilizing your own connections, your own personal branding, your own personal brand or personal page to leverage what you're doing on your business pages to grow that audience, to grow that reach, and just create more connections. Social media is amazing. Like, it's so funny hearing older people talk about it because, there's a reason why they like it. Some people didn't get into it, but when you think about what you can do in today's world with being able to stay connected from people that you went to grade school with, high school with, college with, being able to stay connected with them all, see what's going on in their lives, being able to engage with them. Whereas, before social media, it was like, oh, you had to schedule a call with somebody or try and call them and do all these things. And what it comes down to with the digital age is, and I'm sure it hasn't changed too much, but time is the most valuable possession we all have. And social media allows us
resource.
Yes. And social media allows us to be able to connect with people on our own time when we're diving into social media, and they may not be on it, and you can create conversations. You're having comments in the or having conversations in the comments. Like, all of this happening is such an important aspect of understanding, again, that fundamental aspect that this is about building relationships. And so once we understand that, when we're not thinking about, okay, how can we just get more people? How can we get more people? It starts with just reaching out to people you may already know, connecting with them on Facebook, old friends, and just seeing how they're doing. Don't reach out to them and say, hey, I'm an insurance agent. Like, do you need insurance? That's not how we start conversations. You wouldn't like to be approached that way, but it's a simple concept that when you think about it, when you reach out to someone in the DMs, so that's an important part. I'll tie in the algorithm and how this all works, is that when you can reach out to somebody in the DMs, Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn as well, the way that you're reaching out to them and having that conversation. So you're saying, hey, how's it going? What's up? Naturally, they're going to ask you, so what do you do? Maybe after you ask them what they do and you just have a conversation, they're going to give you the opportunity to talk about what you do, and have that conversation to be able to catch up with people. And what that does is, now that you're having conversations in the DM, it's now going to be more likely that your posts on your platforms are going to show up in their feed because you're letting the algorithm know that you're having conversations with them in their messengers, whether it be DM or Facebook Messenger, or Instagram or LinkedIn rather. So having that aspect and understanding that there's an algorithm standpoint that goes to just reaching out to them. But again, come from that place of, I just want to connect with more people. I honestly want to see what's going on. Like, ask them about their lives, ask them what they like to do, ask them about their family, like really have a conversations and just start with it, like one at a time, maybe, you could do like one day, reach out to one person that maybe you're not on social media yet or not friends with, and just search for them, search for some people that you may know, or, go through the section of people you may know. It's a great place to start. Mutual friends and finding people and just connecting with them. So that's kind of the best way to getting started, the first step in just connecting with more people and doing it in an organic and, kind way that's not, like sleazy and just, again, focusing on that relationship building aspect.
So basically, if I'm going to summarize this, if I'm on my Facebook and I'm just posting, hey, I'm an insurance agent, call me if you need a quote, that's not really going to generate a lot of buzz. That's not going to get me a lot of excitement. That's not going to get me a lot of engagement. But if I'm going to somebody and saying, hey, we haven't talked in, forever long. We went to high school together. How have you been? How's your family? Oh, you have kids now. I love the pictures of your dog, whatever, all these different things. and you start actually giving a shit and having a conversation with people, all of a sudden that's going to be more of a game changer. But to me, that seems a little bit hard to scale. You know, if you're talking about reaching out to like one person at a time, two people at a time, and you know, also that's like a emotional and just physical time investment. How do we scale that?
Absolutely. Great question. And it leads into really understanding what works on social media. And, you know, I always use the example, it's like social media is not a billboard. It's not about, hey, this
Okay.
is what I do. Hey, this is what I do. It's about providing value. How can we educate our audience? How can we provide value that's going to help somebody, that's going to change how somebody's thinking or changing how they're doing something? You know, when it comes to the insurance world, I don't know like anything. Full disclaimer, okay? You know, you guys know the insurance world. And the thing is that just by educating your audience about insurance, the things that people don't know, you're going to build that credibility, but you're also providing value that people may want to share. You know,
Right.
one of the stats, and this is like a crazy stat and kind of goes into, you know, why I love video, but 12 social video is 1200% of videos get shared more than text and images combined. So video
Really?
gets shared 1200% more than text and images combined. So like
Okay.
1200%. Like that's what we want. And we want to get that reach. We want to get that organic traffic. And I'll talk about like, you know, the next step after organic, but understanding that when we can actually provide value and come from an education instead of being like an ad, you know, no one wants to share ads unless they're like your mom or your grandmother, you know, which
right.
My grandmother loves to share my ads, you know.
Yep. Mom too. Thank you,
Yes.
Mom. Always.
Love her. She's awesome. And so, you know, that's like part of it too, is like, all right, so we're creating content that's going to provide value, that's going to educate people, and simultaneously build credibility that, hey, we know what we're talking about and you should want to work with us. And at the same time, to go back to that core foundation of like, people want to do business with who they know, they like, and they trust.
Always, yes.
And when you're willing to like be open on social media and talk about who you are, not just in the content perspective, but also from who you are as a person, what are your interests, what do you like, it's going to, again, build that trust factor where you are a normal person and people want to work with real people. They want to work with faces. They don't want to work with brands. They want to work with real people. And when you show that you're a real person while also providing value, you're going to get that reach. You're going to get that exposure, and you're going to stay top of mind too when people are looking for, you know, insurance, to be able to, oh, well, I see all those videos that are educational. I've watched them and hey, I want to learn more. Like, I want to sign up with you. You seem like an awesome person. You're creating all this great value. You know, how can we, you know, get this moving? How can I work with you?
I'm your huckleberry.
There you go. I want to be your huckleberry. So we've gone from, you know, reaching out to people to providing value to everybody, and video, as you said, gets shared 1,200 times more. Is this specifically through YouTube, or are you talking like all channels?
So that's specific. A lot is Facebook. A lot of the times they're just, because that's where the videos, but you can imagine that a lot of the statistics are going to translate, you know, LinkedIn, you know, Instagram, just the way the platform works, it's like more difficult to get that, like sharing.
Yeah,
people are sharing
I don't
through
even
their
know how to
stories.
share on Instagram.
Yeah, you can only share your story, so it's not like it
So
doesn't have
weird.
the same, you know, aspect, you know, that
Well,
like
Facebook it is then.
and LinkedIn have, which is, you know, super powerful. So being able to, again, have that video presence, and keep this in mind too, the goal is to be different from everyone else. And people are horrified to do video. And so
Yes, sir.
so just by you willing to step out of your comfort zone, do a little something different, go on social media, go live, you know, make a video, you're gonna stand out. because 98% of people are scared. That's not a real statistic. But a lot of people
but it's true though.
are, yeah, it probably is pretty accurate that 98% of people do not want to expose themselves where they're like, they feel vulnerable when they're on video. And the thing is, most people are so concerned about themselves, they're not going to be judging you. And that's the thing. That's the real fear. That's the real fear. Worried about what people are going to say, what people are going to think. You know, we let these self-doubts, or I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I can't talk about this stuff, get in the way. And it's
quieter, man.
We just gotta.
I've been saying it, Miguel. Huh? I've been saying it.
We just gotta, we just gotta get over that hump, get over that fear. And the thing is, it's just like anything else. You know, when it comes to video, when it comes to social media, you know, people are hesitant to get started. But the key to get good at it is to get started. If you want to get good at video, then you need to do video. If you think you're just going to show up on camera and you're like just this awesome, amazing, incredible performer, I hope you are, you know, but
I mean, you were a natural when you got on stage, so it's possible.
It can happen. You know, some people do have more of a knack for it, but if it's funny, if you look back on like some of my older videos and like one of my first videos, you know, there's a different level of how I communicate, how I, you know, leverage how I speak. And I didn't always have that, but it's come with practice, you know, and I have clients that, you know, they started off where they were having a little bit more trouble, but the more that they do it and you watch the growth, and here's the real beauty of this that people undervalue.
Here it goes.
When people see your progression and they see how you go from being okay at video or not that great, but you keep doing it and you get better and better. That's what they see. The people that watch you from the beginning, there is nothing more powerful than people seeing your growth and seeing how you're getting better. That in itself has a level of marketing that is often just misrealized. It's a missed opportunity when realize that you actually being bad is an advantage because you're willing to still get out there and do it and get better at it. You know, who cares what people say? It doesn't matter. Their opinions don't matter.
I love it.
You know, focus on the people that you're going to help with the content that you're going to share, the business that you're going to build.
So true, man.
Can't handle the truth.
So true, so true. And there's, you know, I can sense it in your passion right now. Like you're really getting hyped up about it because you feel it, you know it, you sense it, and you've seen it in yourself. I'm sure you see it in your clients that you work with. I've seen it in our show. You know, this is episode 61, and I can, you know, go back to 60 episodes ago, and I was like nervous, you know, and. My brother and I have been doing our other podcast for 2.5 years, and you go back to like episode 1 of that one, and it's just crap. I mean, I had to drink my way through those. But you know, the other thing that I keep thinking of is I was reading or listening to Russell Brunson's Traffic Secrets this morning. And one of the things that he talked about, one of his experiences was how he wasn't doing as much video as another one of his mentors because his were very choreographed or very planned out. And his mentor was like, yeah, I just go to my kid's soccer game and I bust out my camera and I just start recording video and boom, there's like my next ad right there. And so over and over and over again, it's just getting more of these at bats, getting up in front, doing it over and over and over again, practicing more and more and more. I'm guessing that that's more or less what you teach your clients. What other tips do you give them to like really get them up into that next level? Once they've got the practice, once they've been doing this for a while, how do you get more of that, more eyes on their content?
Absolutely. Yeah, I will get to that question, but I do want to say one caveat before I continue. One of the things that can be super effective is understanding your time. We talked about how important your time is and really utilizing the fact that you can batch record videos is a super advantage to be able to pre-record. Live is great. Algorithm loves the live, but it's also very beneficial in realizing that if you one, batch film, and then also have your videos produced, just doing some basic editing, it actually makes your job way easier. You don't have to worry about your mistakes that are on camera when you're editing it. You can just cut out those mistakes. It becomes super easy to sound great and improve your video presence if you just have that little bit of editing. And you may, in the beginning, you have a lot more outtakes, a lot more mess ups. But the more that you go through, the more that you practice, and the more that you just record, you're going to get better at it. I can batch film just a ton of episodes, and then I have content for months because I'll just be willing to sit down, set up my studio, and I just go and just record, and then I pass it to my team, and they edit the videos and they schedule everything out for me. And so understanding that aspect, that my time is valuable, and I also want my videos to look good. And so you can utilize that in also making sure that you can cut out those mistakes to make yourself sound even better in those videos. And so to go into your question is, how can we get more reach? How can we get more people? How can we get those views that we really want? And a really important aspect to understand when it comes to social media, when you think about this, when you think about social media, think about how many friends you have. Think about how many business pages you may follow, whether it be ESPN or, other, Tony Robbins, Brendan Burchard, Russell Brunson, whoever these individuals are, you're following all of these people. You may be following some of your friends' businesses. And you think about how all of this tallies up and how many things that actually is. Okay, so if I have 1,000 friends, which is probably on the low side, but also could be an average depending on, who you are. Then you follow 1,000 businesses, or we'll even go on the low side. We'll say you follow 500 businesses. That's 1,500 things that you are following. If every single person posts once a day, that's 1,500 posts that Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn has to show you in their newsfeed. It's not going to happen.
Right.
You couldn't look at 1,500 posts in a day. You don't spend that. I hope you're not spending that much time. I don't even know if you were sitting on for 24 hours a day that you could even see 1,500 posts. But the reason why I bring that up is because there's this constant competition. There's this constant thing that we're competing against all of these pages, all of these followers, all of these people to get our content seen.
Right.
And so from my experience, trying to, like the Gary Vee mentality, who I love Gary Vee. If you're a Gary Vee fan, he's awesome. But the idea is that if you just keep creating content that people are going to magically see it, it's just not the reality. It's just, there's so much competition. There's so many people on there. And so what we want to do is we want to utilize Facebook ads and Instagram ads to really make sure that our content is being seen by not only our actual audience, because if you post something on your business page, only about 10% of your audience is actually even going to see that post organically.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we're getting a larger percentage of our actual followers, people who said, hey, I want to follow you. I like you. I'm liking your page, and making sure that that's being seen. And then it also allows us to then expose and get in front of more people because we're now putting money behind it. At the end of the day, all these platforms, no matter what it is, it's pay to play.
Right.
If you
He ain't lying.
If you want to show up, you got to get out there. You got to be willing to put some money down on the line. Now, the thing is, Facebook and Instagram ads can also often be a little intimidating in getting involved in it. Or somebody tries it and they're like, I didn't have any results with it. And I encourage you, if this was you, I ask you, the first time you ever did anything, were you amazing at it? And so it circles back to like, all right, well, you're not going to be amazing at videos the first time you do it. And so you're not going to be amazing at Facebook and Instagram ads either. It's going to take time to develop. It's going to take time to create that audience that you really want to attract, that you really want to target, and build that audience. Facebook and Instagram, they reward the accounts that are regularly running ads. So if you're just getting started, you're not going to do as well as somebody who has consistently already been running ads. Because again, they want money. The more money that you're spending, the more you're going to get, the more your reach you're going to get. But also understanding that when we create this target audience and we're focusing on people that already like our page or that are going to our website utilizing things like Facebook Pixel or going to, landing pages that we want to take them to and being able to target them, our marketing dollars are going to go so much further. Being able to retarget people that maybe watched 30 seconds of our video to then getting them to come to us, getting them to create that conversation. And so the more that we can get our content in front of new people, in front of people that we want to attract, the more that you're going to be able to grow and scale and get to that where you want to go. But it starts with just running ads. Organic is so tough with Instagram. You're trying to create all these hashtags. You're doing hashtag research, and it's like, how much is your time worth? I always encourage people to ask themselves that. How much is your time worth? Because when you understand what your time is worth, then you may be more willing to allocate to things like having an editor for your videos, which, by the way, you can get somebody to do it for $10, $20 an hour, sometimes even cheaper, to edit your videos when you know the resources, the places to go to be able to do that. And so when we understand that time, and also understanding how much time are you spending trying to beat the platform, how much time are you spending trying to create content 3 times a day or posting a ton of content, when you could simply create one really good video and run it for 2 weeks and make sure that people see that video.
As long as it's successful.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. And that comes down to measuring, taking a look at the analytics and the insights and all of these different tools that are available for the advertising, and being able to measure what your ROI is.
Absolutely. And that's where the ROI really comes in. People always ask, like, what's the ROI of social media? And my first answer is, well, can you put an ROI on building relationships? But then the second answer is, when you're running ads and your numbers, and you determine that when I input this dollar amount and get this lead, and then this lead converts, what is my cost to then acquire that lead? Because if you really know your numbers and you understand, okay, well, if I put in $100 and I make 1,000, well, then you're just going to keep putting in more $100. All right, I'm just going to keep giving it money.
Yep.
So if you think that you can just like throw money at it and be like, it didn't work, okay, I'm done. No, it's an aspect of, we need to create this machine that's going to generate these leads, that are going to generate these sales into exactly where we want them to go. And that's going to put us in the best position to convert those leads into customers. But it all starts with getting that exposure, getting in front of the right people, and making sure that people are seeing your content.
Oh, you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
All right, Mr. Bonitatibus.
Nailed it.
Yes, got it, finally. Nick, I have really enjoyed learning from you. I really feel like I've learned a lot for myself. I hope that our audience also has learned a lot. My next question to you is, where did you learn from? What are your top mentors, books, or podcasts that you've listened to over the years that have helped you get to this level?
Absolutely. Love it. The first one, I got to give credit to James Wedmore. It's funny because it was someone that I started watching him on YouTube when I was first getting started and learning about video marketing. And so he taught me so many of the things that I now teach people what to do. Fast forward about like 6 years, I end up signing up for his program called Business by Design, which is just like an incredible tool. I ended up becoming a coach actually for him. So you can see kind of how the progression, but he has just absolutely changed my life with just the community that came with that program. So it's called the Mind Your Business podcast, really just focusing on how the things in our brain affect our business. And he's just filled with like wisdom. And I've had the privilege to be able to work with him in a small group setting and really see, the type of person that he is and what he's about and what he's willing to do. So that's the number one person, huge shout out to James Wedmore. And then in regards to books, there's a lot of different books that I could probably recommend. The first one that comes to my mind is Atomic Habits. I don't know if you're a big habit person, but I am. And when you understand like that principle and really the foundations, the reason why I think it's such a powerful book is because you can start taking action like immediately while you're listening to it. And I love books like that because, I was reading another book recently, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. And he talks about how I'd rather you read a book 30 times than try and read 30 books in a year.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And it's just that same concept. I mean, I've listened to Atomic Habits 5 times. It's just one of those books that I just really love. It's super impactful. And when it comes to just our business or we want to perform at our best, regardless of whether, it's your profession or business, and understanding that we are going to perform at our best when we have the right habits. And putting these things in place, like exercising and, taking time to potentially meditate or journaling. And there's all these things that you could potentially do. But the reason why I love that book and I love habits is because it changed my life. It changed my life, and it can change other people's when you implement these important things, like having a gratitude practice and what that can do for you. When you start to see the world from appreciation, you start to see how amazing, what an incredible gift it is to be alive every single day.
Facts.
You're just going to show up differently. You're going to show up differently in your work. You're going to show up differently on your videos. You're going to show up differently on social media. You're going to show up differently, just the conversations and the people you engage with when you bring off this energy. And it starts with what we think about and what we do on a daily, consistent basis.
Hell yes. Well said. Well said. All right, Nick, last thing. Honestly, if anybody out there does not want to work with this guy, I don't know what's wrong with you. So for everybody that does want to work with you, how can they get in touch with you?
The first thing I would recommend is going to my website, thedigitalchamps.com. You'll see there's a link for my free training, and it's really going to give you just the tools of similar things that we talked about today, but really helping you to get started and how we can work together.
All right. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen, thedigitalchamps.com. That is pretty much it for us, Nick. I just want to thank you so much, man, for spending some time with us, teaching us all that you know about, well, not all that you know, but a good chunk that we could fit into 30 minutes here. I feel like I'm ready to take some of my stuff to the next level. You're challenging me to be more authentic and to not be afraid of doing video. I mean, I do this show daily, which is great. But there's still that little bit of fear that I'm carrying about, doing stories and doing other things. It's a challenge for myself, but you're giving me a little bit more confidence there. So I appreciate your time.
Love it. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me. I hope this was super valuable. And if there's any questions, again, feel free to reach out to me on social as well. I'll be happy to answer any questions, follow up you may have.
For sure. For everybody else that's listening, thank you all so much. As always, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. If you want to be a guest on the show, go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest. And don't forget to follow me on all my social media at Insurance Bros Show. That's all we got for y'all today. Thank you all so much for listening. As always, you rock my socks, you have my heart, and you
Have a nice day!
Thank you for tuning in to the Insurance Bro Show. James is the CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you're an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit www.pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com. Look for James on all